Breaking: Muslim candidate for governor just issued statement on Sharia law. What do you think? Over the past decade, Muslims have slowly crept into every single facet of our society, from our universities, to our police stations, to even our government. One man, however, is the first Muslim running for governor. And he just announced his terrifying thoughts on Sharia law. He even spoke about George Soros, the Hungarian billionaire investor who's been spearheading the Black Lives Matter and Antifa movements. While he claims that he has no affiliations to ISIS or other terrorist organizations, many are skeptical. Muslims understand that in order to destroy America, they must slowly invade every single level of our infrastructure. In fact, this is an integral phase in the Muslim Brotherhood's 5-phase plan to destroy America, which we previously reported on. Phase 1, phase of discreet and secret establishment of leadership. Phase 2, phase of gradual appearance on the public scene and exercising and utilizing various public activities. It greatly succeeded in implementing this stage. It also succeeded in achieving a great deal of its important goals, such as infiltrating various sectors of the government, gaining religious institutions and embracing senior scholars, gaining public support and sympathy, establishing a shadow government, secret, within the government. Phase 3, escalation phase, prior to conflict and confrontation with the rulers, through utilizing mass media. Currently in progress. Phase 4, open public confrontation with the government through exercising the political pressure approach. It is aggressively implementing the above-mentioned approach. Training on the use of weapons domestically and overseas in anticipation of 0 hour. It has noticeable activities in this regard. Phase 5, seizing power to establish their Islamic nation under which all parties and Islamic groups are united. If Abdul El-Sayed is elected governor of Michigan, this will mark the first Muslim governor that the United States has ever seen. And a transition into Phase 5 of the terrorist organization's plan to destroy America. In an interview recently, he was asked about his stance on Sharia law. He gave a typical spiel about the Constitution and American virtues, but we all know that the Islamic faith demands that individuals prioritize Sharia law over any other form of law. The Guardian reports. At this stage in his speech, El-Sayed usually pivots to speaking about the U.S. Constitution and the soaring rhetoric of hope and commonality. As you can imagine, these people come from fundamentally different walks of life, they have known different realities, but they see a common future. And that's because it's a common future they have built together, he said. I learned about a society that was founded on an ideal that my father invested in back in 1978 when he came here, one that told him, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal. Drew Philp, who presumably interviewed the man, goes on to ask him some questions. Are you the spear tip of a vast Muslim conspiracy to bring Sharia law to the U.S.? No, he said. Are you a front for the Muslim Brotherhood to pervert American politics towards terrorism? No. Were you handpicked by George Soros to lead a vast liberal takeover of the government? No. I've never met George Soros. While he claims to be against Sharia law and all of the freedom-restricting impositions it brings, many are wary. We've been duped far too many times by Muslims claiming to want the best for us, employing the tactic known as taqiyya. According to Jihad Watch, this is a common tactic employed by Muslims in which they feign disbelief. They claim they're not practicing Muslims, or that they're against Sharia law, when really they're simply lying to gain your trust. While it's uncertain whether he's employing this tactic or not, one telling sign of his deceitfulness is his known alliance with Linda Sarsour, who has openly called for a jihad against President Trump. Linda Sarsour is an activist in the organization known as CARE, which has repeatedly been accused of having ties to Hamas and other Muslim extremist groups. Despite this, the potential first Muslim governor doesn't seem too worried. We previously reported how Linda Sarsour has called for a holy war, or jihad, against Donald Trump. She later shrugged it off as being vague, but we all know what that means. It means using violence to push and promote Islam. Activist Pamela Geller and a number of conservatives protested at Sarsara's commencement speech before the graduates of City University of New York in May. She was one of the organizers and leaders at the Women's March in Washington in January. Speaking to the annual Islamic Society of North America last weekend, Sarsara called for a jihad of words against President Donald Trump. Her words come as outrage spreads over accusations that President Trump is encouraging violence by posting a video clip on Twitter. Sarsara, yet, has received little criticism over her call for jihad against the president, regardless of her intent. The fact that this Muslim governor has not denounced Linda Sarsara, which coincidentally means cockroach in Arabic, should be very telling. While he was raised by a mostly white family, many believe he still has ties to the Islamic community. At the very minimum, from what he's admitted in a recent interview, we know that he sees his Muslim relatives frequently. His uncles learned to prepare venison whole so his entire family could share in the meals, The Guardian reports. This sounds a lot like creeping Sharia to me. With cities such as Dearborn, Michigan looking more like Baghdad than America, it's high time that we begin solving this crisis. Muslims are birthing nearly twice as many children as whites, on average, and after years of Obama letting them into this country with open arms, it won't be long before they outnumber Christians. If a Muslim governor were to be elected, this would be the final nail in our coffin. We cannot allow this to happen. For my future, for your future, and for our children's future, it is paramount that the truth about Islam and Sharia law be exposed. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.